welcome back to Food Prep Guide. We just have a quick tip video for you today about how you can make your greens last longer. Your lettuce, your kales, your arugulas, everything that you need to make a salad. One of the issues that I was continuously running into in trying to transition my family into all homegrown ingredients for our salads was simply keeping them in a nice crisp texture after washing. I had the hardest time with soggy, gross lettuce. So I know a lot of people don't even wash their greens, especially if certainly if they grow organic, they know it's never been sprayed with anything. If you're gardening in a raised bed or in containers, grow bags, it's really easy to keep that lettuce pretty nice and clean. But I wasn't comfortable with that because I'm dealing with slugs, and I have seen slugs crawling all over my lettuce, so I'm not comfortable with not washing it good. So one of the issues that I was running into was because of the slugs and snails, I was really like soaking my lettuce and really washing it to make sure it's really nice and clean. And it's like it got too soggy, and I could never get it back to the point where it was a nice, crisp crunch in that lettuce, or in that kale. So the other issue that I was having was it might be because of how I was washing it, but maybe because of how damp the lettuce was, I could never get it to last longer than about 2 weeks in my fridge, which isn't too terribly bad considering we have plenty growing out in the garden. But we were still throwing out bad lettuce, and we're eating everything that was in the fridge within that 2-week time frame. So in addition to trying to find a way to get my lettuce crunchy again, nice and crisp, and not so soggy and kind of gross, I was also trying to figure out a way to extend its life in the refrigerator. I tried a bunch of different things, got advice from a whole bunch of different people, and I have finally settled on the way that works for our family, and I wanted to share it with you. With what I'm about to show you, our lettuce lasts for 6 weeks. We go eat through our freshly harvested lettuce faster than 6 weeks, but I wanted to do a test to see just how long I could push it. So I wrapped up a bag the way I'm about to show you, and I put it in the back of my fridge where nobody would see it and nobody would eat it. And 6 weeks later, I enjoyed a fresh salad from it. So I can vouch for this method lasting your greens, keeping for about 6 weeks. Let's get started. Welcome to Food Prep Guide. My name is Jordan. I'm a homeschooling mom to 3, living on 3 beautiful acres with my wonderful husband. A health crisis forced our family to change the way we think about food. Unfortunately, it also put us in financial hardship. Thankfully, the solution to both challenges was the same: to live off the land as much as possible. For us, that means growing a garden, preserving the harvest, raising chickens, and cooking from scratch. It's definitely a family affair. And friends too. Meet Stacy, researcher, author, and lifelong learner. She entered the world of food preservation in the crazy days of 2020. She joined a gleaning co-op, and a local grocer offered her clearance produce in bulk, and so the adventure began. Together, we're reclaiming the old ways of food stewardship and teaching them to the next generation. If there's one thing you should know about us, it's that we love Jesus and seek to steward his blessings wisely. Our table always has room for one more, so y'all come join us. The first step is just to wash the greens really, really well. And I tell you what, I don't know how I did this without a salad spinner in years past, because it has just made life so much easier to get nice, dry lettuce. And like I said, I am a stickler for washing things that come out of the garden. Even though we do garden organically, nothing is sprayed on them. For the most part, we do some organic sprays. But I will wash things multiple times, and I think that may have been part of my issue in the past. But this salad spinner, I think getting them really nice and dry, it's not going to be completely dry, of course. Let me show you. Like, you can see the glistening on this lettuce. It is still damp, which is actually going to help us in the next step, but it is nowhere near as wet as when I would soak it and rinse it multiple times. Another surprising benefit that I did not think about with this salad spinner is I like to wash my produce until I don't see any brown, any dinginess or dirt or bugs in the rinse water. And having this clear container makes it really easy to see the water and see how clean it is. And I didn't even think about that when I got this. I was just getting it for making the salad nice and dry. But that has been an unexpected benefit. So that water came out clean, so we are good to go with our next step. So the next thing you need is paper towels. Now I have been tweaking and practicing this way for about 2 months now, and I have officially decided, you know, this is the way for us to do it from here on out. So I have invested in reusable paper towels because I found that I was going through way too many paper towels. I don't like using one-time use items if I can help it. And this whole roll here, here's what I got. I got it on Amazon. I got it in a pattern so that people would know these are not normal paper towels, but they do kind of look like normal paper towels. They tear off like normal paper towels. And I think this is $5. And each of these sheets can be reused, I think, around 50 times before it gets to the point where they just start to disintegrate. They're bamboo, I think. So they have been fantastic so far, and I'm glad to not be using one-time use items. But like I said, while I was still tweaking and practicing this, I just use regular paper towels. So you can absolutely use regular paper towels. So next is just to get your greens and lay them out in one single layer. I mean, you know, it's totally fine for things to overlap. It doesn't have to be that precise. But just a flat layer like that. And then we're just going to roll up the paper towels. Roll up the paper towel. And I have tried waiting until the lettuce dries out completely before I do this step, and I have tried doing it this way, which is rolling it up immediately after washing. And actually, I thought waiting until it was bone dry was going to be best, but what turned out to be better and have a higher quality product that lasts longer was leaving it still a little bit damp, which in my case is just packaging it up immediately after washing in the salad spinner. And I think it might have something to do, that moisture might somehow make it stay fresh longer. I'm not sure how that works. In my mind, I would think drier would be better. But I did a side-by-side experiment, I guess you could say, with it, and it turned out better when the leaves were slightly damp. This is another thing that I have invested in because, again, I was going through a whole bunch of bags. This is just a reusable zip-top gallon-size freezer bag, even though we're not going to be putting them in the freezer. And then put them in just like that. I'm going to do one more. Put our paper towel, load it up, and I do go ahead and chop it up into ready to go salads. I find that everyone in my family is a lot more likely to eat the salad if everything is prepped and ready to go. They don't have to go out to the garden and harvest and clean and chop it and all that. So everything's chopped up into, you know, little pieces ready for a salad, ready to go, so that everyone can just go in here, grab a towel, and their salad is ready to go. So this process, in my mind, it's also like meal prep. It's not just, you know, making our greens last longer. It's like a meal prep task that makes lunchtime go faster as well. And then I just keep on filling. 4 of them, 4 rolls fit in this gallon-sized freezer bag. And then when I go to zip it, I just roll the air out and get it as airtight as I possibly can. Okay, there we go. And just like this, I put it in my refrigerator, and this lasts for 6 weeks. I've done it with all of the lettuces and the kales and the greens growing in my garden, and they have all lasted 6 weeks when done this way. I hope that quick tip was helpful to you, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.